Hello, good afternoon. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We're on a number of affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We're on Dreams FM in Bolgatanga, A1 Radio also in Bolgatanga, Gangai FM in Jwapa, we're on Flow FM in Aflao and Pad FM in Damongo. We're live on Facebook and myjoyonline.com interactive app. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC pipes and water tank. Where Duraplus goes, water flows. This afternoon, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers are demanding immediate resignation of two persons appointed by President Akufo-Addo to the Electoral Commission due to their perceived affiliation in the governing NPP.
This, namely Dr. Peter Piaini and Hajia Salima Tijani from voluntarily and honorably resigning from membership of the EC.
We have details. Also, government deploys 1,000 special forces to Boko as gunmen who shot and killed an immigration officer continue to elude security men 48 hours after the attack.
Government is bringing in special forces to Boko, about 1,000 of them, both police and soldiers. Some are already in there. Camps are being built to house these soldiers.
We hear from the regional minister who is assuring that the perpetrators will certainly be apprehended. Medical doctors, government workers occupying government bungalows served eviction notice by the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council following release of lands or their bungalows occupied back to Utufo Seitu. We have details of that also in sports.
The Ghana FC pulled back on their threats to boycott the Ghana Premier League after their home ground was temporarily banned by the FA.
Also, Ghana Water Company disconnects water supply to major companies here in Accra as it pushes to retrieve more than 600 million cedis owed it by defaulting agencies and businesses.
So when we get to you, don't tell us, oh, we don't get regular flow. Yes, we know we don't get regular flow, but your meter has read. It means that some water has passed there, and we use chemicals, we use electricity to produce that water.
And much later, after more than 3 decades of service to the police, COP Nathan Kofi Boakye retires today.
They can run and run and run, but they cannot hide.
But my job is to maintain law. My job is to curtail impunity. One man's corruption can dupe the country for about $10 million. And police corruption, one city.
Please stay on for details of that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers is demanding the immediate resignation of Dr. Peter Piaini and Hajia Salima Tijani as members of the Electoral Commission. The two, who were recently appointed by President Akufo-Addo to the Electoral Management Body, have been described by the NDC as known affiliates of the governing NPP. Kodeo, at a news conference earlier today, say these appointments have the tendency to make the EC look partisan and affect the credibility of future elections. Reverend Dr. Fred Degbe read the address on behalf of Kodeo.
We are painfully aware that voluntary and constitutionally grounded revocation of these unfortunate and democratically problematic EC appointments by the President is extremely unlikely. However, nothing stops the affected appointees, namely Dr. Peter Piaini and Hajia Salima Tijani, from voluntarily and honorably resigning from membership of the EC. This will be in the supreme interest of our country's continued democratic progress, election peace and credibility, and indeed the overall national interest. While both Dr. Piaini and Madam Salima Tijani meet the generic benchmark qualification stipulated under Article 44(1), that is the same qualification one must satisfy to be a member of Parliament. We believe strongly that, having regard to the independent and non-partisan nature of our Electoral Commission and its mandate, the spirit of the Constitution, demands far more in the way of one's suitability to be a member of the EC. We accordingly call on Dr. Peter Piahene and Hajia Salima Ahmed Tijani to do the honorable thing and resign.
My colleague Kweku Asante has just returned from the press conference. He joins me in studio. So first, Kweku, what's the basis for this partisan connection Kodeo is alleging? Any new information?
So yes, Kodeo has actually done a research on these two persons, and they say Dr. Piahene, for instance, was one of the persons the president was considering to appoint as a Bono regional minister. Indeed, they say that he's an activist of the NPP in that region, and not only that, they've seen a social media video clip that has gone viral since that appointment, where Dr. Piahene was seen and heard participating in a radio program on Midday FM in Sunyani, and he was identifying himself as an NPP activist in the Bono region, and that Dr. Peter Piahene was actually the patron of UENR in the Bono region, and they say that this particular man has actually been the one leading NPP in that region. Then there's Hajia Salima Tijani, Ne Salima Sani Mahama. They've also done the research to show that she's said to be married to one Sheikh T.B. Damba, who is a leading member of the NPP. Was formerly the second national vice chair of the party. Madame Salima Tijani's mother, Hajia Samata Gifty Bukari, was also the first elected woman vice president of the NPP. They also say that the sister, Hajia Abiba Tashani Muhammad Zakaria, is also the CEO of Maslock and contested the 2020 NPP primaries for the NPP in the Yendi constituency. So these two persons, they say, have demonstrated such known affiliation to the NPP. They cannot serve on the electoral commission for now. Okay, so does Kodeo say what they would do if these persons don't resign? Did they give any timelines for them to do so? They did not. They're actually saying that if they look at where the country is now and the kind of deep mistrust that the Electoral Commission is facing now, it is in the best interest of the country for these persons to withdraw so that the EC can get some semblance of credibility to go ahead. Then future elections will have serious credibility issue.
Normally in the Afrobarometer surveys there's a list of institutions that respondents are asked to rate their trust in those institutions, and the EC is one of them, and you have to indicate whether you trust the institution a lot, you trust it somewhat, you don't trust it at all, and so on. So this ratings that you see is on people who are showing a strong preference, a strong trust for the EC. That is, that they trust the EC a lot. And you can see that beginning from in 2004, when you had 48%, which is a very strong positive endorsement of the EC. Since then, those who are saying they trust the EC a lot has reduced all the way to 10%. So that is just an additional note that we need to point out.
That's the Director of Programs and Advocacy with the Center for Democratic Development Ghana, Dr. Kojo Pumpuni Asante. We have more on this subsequently. Also on myjoyonline.com you can read more. Let's turn our attention to the Ghana Water Company Limited now, and we're told that they've disconnected water supply to a number of state agencies and private companies. This is in line with its aggressive drive to retrieve millions of cedis which have been due for years. The company says it is struggling to meet its aim of supplying water because of the refusal of customers to pay their debts. Dr. Clifford Brymer is Managing Director.
We should not be thinking for the customer. Let the customer think for themselves. Some of them will say that because there's no flow in our pipes, we are not going to pay. We are not a prepaid company. We are a co-speed. Going to collect your bills means that some water has been consumed. And whatever water that has been consumed, there was chemical use, electricity used, and they need to be paid for. And so somebody cannot say that because he's not going to get water tomorrow, he's not going to pay for what he spent yesterday. I don't think there's logic in it. And we must not give the customers that opportunity to use that as a basis not to pay. Once your meter reads, it means that you have consumed. And we are asking for what you have consumed, but not what you are yet to consume. And so when we get to you, don't tell us, oh, we don't get regular flow. Yes, we know we don't get regular flow, but your meter has read. It means that some water has passed there, and we use chemical, we use electricity to produce that water. So let's go out strong enough and retrieve the money.
My colleague Jacqueline Ansumaya is with the team and joins us with more. Jacqueline, tell us exactly where the team has been and how the exercise is going so far.
Okay, Emefa. So the team has been to 3 companies so far. We are currently at the 4th. So the first company we went to was Waka Building Systems, but they were pardoned and they agreed to pay tomorrow. And from there, the team went to a beverage factory known as UFresh Limited, where a fight even ensued there, and they've been disconnected for non-payment of bills worth 163,000 Ghana cedis. And from there, we went to Printex, where the company owns Ghana Water over 3 million Ghana cedis, but they've paid 1.7 million Ghana cedis, which is apparently half of the amount owed. So Ghana Water Company is yet to calculate the remaining amount that constitutes the remaining half. So we are currently at Qatar Company Limited.
Well, that's my colleague Jacqueline Ansumaya bringing us details of that exercise and backed upon by the Ghana Water Company Limited. It takes us straight to the Upper East region, where 1,000 men from the Special Forces have been deployed to Boko, where 3 immigration officers were shot, resulting in the death of 1 by gunmen while they were out to get food in front of a police station. Their presence intends to boost security while lending hands to the investigation to capture the killers still on the loose. The regional minister, Stephen Yakubu, who dismisses an intelligence failure as the cause of the incident, tells Joy News much is being done to avert another incident. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, here's a regional immigration PRO, Deputy Superintendent Martin Tiose Soye, who says even though their camp is hurt by the incident, they are unfazed in the discharge of their duty.
The very people that we are mandated to protect and protect their property, rather see us as enemies or whatever, to understand that their activities could threaten our lives. Eric, for instance, his case is serious, so he has been transferred to Tamale Teaching Hospital. Lawrence, Inspector Lawrence Afare is at the Boko Presbyterian Hospital. And the deceased, the body is also at the mortuary. They are not minor injuries, they are life-threatening. Lawrence's own is a bit manageable, but for Eric, his own is critical. We are not scared because it's our mandate, but we become more strategic in performing our daily or our routine duties, both day and night. Personnel will cover each other's back. There will be a single movement of personnel, maybe 2 groups, 3 groups. Unlike these ones, we were in their car going to buy food and they were shot at.
While in a follow-up statement released by the Ghana Immigration Service, a high-powered delegation, we're told, is expected to visit the camp soon. Meanwhile, the regional minister, Stephen Yakubu, says government has already deployed about 1,000 special forces to help with investigations and boost security. He spoke on the AM show.
It's very unfortunate. As respect, we are intensifying, government is helping us. Government is bringing in special forces to Boko, about 1,000 of them, both police and soldiers. Some are already in there. Camps are being built in Bazua, which is a military camp to house these soldiers. And a lot of security things that we are doing now, I don't want to mention it on this radio. Military to also intensify their patrols also. And also civil society and also individuals. Let us know. But so far, we have not arrested anyone yet, and we are working seriously on that. I can tell you that we are in control of the situation. Government is helping us, and we are in control. Otherwise, it would have been worse than this.
That's the Upper East Regional Minister, Stephen Yakubu there. Now, medical doctors, government workers occupying government bungalows have been served notice by the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council following release of their lands back to the Asantehene Otumfose to the second. Joy News has secured a copy of that eviction notice, and my colleague Elton Brobe joins me in studio with more. Elton, what exactly does it say?
So, Emefa, it says I'm directed by the regional minister to write with reference to this letter, and the reference is quoted read here. From the Regional Coordinating Council, an issue to all public institutions relating to the release of portions of land to the Gordons to under an executive instrument by government in respect of redevelopment of Sector 18 of Kumasi, and also to inform all occupants of government bungalows within the area that the land have eventually been taken over by the Gordons to arrangements are underway to relocate government officials who were allocated the bungalows by the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council on the affected land to new facilities. In this regard, occupants are to hold themselves in readiness to relocate to new facilities that will be assigned to them. Now, occupants are hereby assured that the SI will be undertaken smoothly without any inconvenience, and it will end in July 2023.
Well, I'm sure they've been giving more reasons as to why this action has been taken at this time.
Well, the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council says that they are only giving reference to an executive instrument 432 of 2021 by government in respect of redevelopment of Sector 18 of Kumasi, which was published in the Gazette on 31st of December 2021. And in this guide, they says that the land in question, the instrument has vested and released a portion of the state land at the rich residential area in Kumasi to the Asantehene on behalf and in trust for subjects of the Gordons to the portion with an area of 409.24 acres span from the northwestern section of the military barracks near Konfanoti Teaching Hospital. The site is along the Bekwai Road, Acid Western boundary to Santash Runabout, with the southern bypass at the southern boundary. The land also lies towards Dakojum to the State Experimental School along the Denyame stream to the north with the Cedar Road as the eastern boundary, and makes reference to private individuals who are also on this land and what will come of them. Then they'll be asked to, renegotiate their lease agreement with the Gordons too.
Okay, thank you very much, Elton. Well, what happens to these workers is the key concern, and Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Pakwesi Bedu, is leading a protest against the decision.
The bungalows and accommodations are situated around hospitals and facilities for a reason. It means they want you to respond within a reasonable amount of time when there are emergencies. And so those who developed these buildings didn't do it out of vacuum. They thought through it before they did that. So it's not about compensation. And mind you, most of you come to the Nyame, you see that they are building all over. Within 6 months, buildings are ringing out. Right now, who are the owners of these buildings? I can tell you, it's the politicians. They want this land for whatever interest they have in it. I don't know. But then, if you have no respect for the country, you should respect your professionals. Because as doctors, we don't want to go on strike, and we are not going to do that out of respect for Otunfo. But if they still want to persist, the regional minister, because he thinks he has the power to persist, effective next month, we'll start picketing at the Regional Coordinating Council led by the Ashanti Regional GMA. If that doesn't work, from May or June, we'll be picketing at Menchia until our petition is heard.
That's Dr. Pakwesi Bedu, is the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana Medical Association. Now, for those of you who are on a hunt for accommodation, listen up. There's an online swindler on the loose in Accra, defrauding people who want to rent apartments. The scammer, who operates with other people, brazenly takes unsuspecting victims to an apartment, hands over keys to a non-existent building to them, and then takes an advance payment. One of the victims, in her early 30s, was defrauded of 30,000 cedis. Another man, Bright Ewusi, was duped of more than 10,000 Ghana cedis. Maxwell Agbagba followed Bright Ewusi to the apartments the online tricksters used to scam him, and here's his report.
I chanced upon the pictures of
I am in a car with one of the victims, Bright Ewusi. We are heading to Tantra Hills to see the apartment the online fraudsters used to scam him. The swindlers had taken pictures of the building and uploaded them on an online platform.
He told me that the tenancy agreement will be ready. That's a Tuesday morning, so I should come to the house Tuesday morning to come and pick it up. It was a movie house.
Was a movie house?
Yes. I find out the house was a movie house. That was a Thursday morning. After I tried reaching him and I couldn't reach out, the place was a movie house. The apartment don't belong to them. They are not the owners of the apartment. No, my friend.
Bright Ewusi is now on the phone speaking to another victim, 33-year-old event planner Ida Safoa. She saw Bright's story online and contacted him about how the same man defrauded her of close to 30,000 cedis after she tried to rent an apartment she saw online.
And the way this man talks, he's like an angel. So my mom was like, hey, wait there, when you're fearer, papa, because of how he portrayed. So we were in the car, and then I gave him a physical cash of close to 30,000.
9,000.
Security man Imano Dankwa had saved and borrowed money from friends to rent. He was also swindled by the same man who defrauded Bright Usi and Ida Safua.
Yes, it's not easy for me, Prao.
Meanwhile, a lead for the Computer Emergency Response Unit at the Cybersecurity Authority, Stephen, says she has cautioned prospective clients to be diligent and pay attention to red flags when doing business with such people. He was speaking to my colleague Aisha Ibrahim earlier this morning.
An apartment. One thing you can do is, after they've taken you around a supposed facility, you can go back on your own at a later time and check with the neighborhood, check with the people that live there, find out who actually owns the apartment you're interested in renting. One thing we can recommend is when you are dealing with agents like this, try and get a view of the ID. They should give you, you can take a photo of the ID, take a photo of the person, the landlord as well, so that if something comes up, at least you have some proof of identity that you can use to start an investigation. The sums of money involved are quite significant, and it means we need to be able to pay through a channel which is trackable. Don't just hand over cash or do a mobile transaction and that's it. What we'd recommend is to be able to go through a bank, and once you're at the bank, then you have the chance to actually validate who owns that bank account. If it doesn't match with who the person or the name they've given you, then you already have a red flag. If you go into the area, you can also survey the kind of rent they are paying in the area. So
we have more on this subsequently. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we're on Love 99.5 FM, and we're on a number of affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience, and Duraplast Ghana Limited, they are producers of quality PVC pipes and water tank. Where Duraplast goes, water flows. Our top stories have been hearing from Kodeo demanding immediate resignation of two persons appointed by President Akufo-Addo to the Electoral Commission due to their perceived affiliation to the governing NPP. We'll return from the break with sport, and we should not use illegality to solve problems. That's the Ashanti Regional Minister fuming after school feeding caterers strike over unpaid arrears.
When maybe I borrowed and interest is accruing, and maybe I cannot even feed my family. But we should not use illegality to solve problems.
And much later, after more than 3 decades of service to the Ghana Police Service, COP Nathan Kofi Boakye retires today.
They can run and run and run, but they cannot hide.
But my job is to maintain law. My job is to curtail impunity. One man's corruption can dupe the country for about $10 million. And police corruption, one city.
Imagine say water wake up at dawn, no bath, no chop, where it vanish for your area for 2 weeks. You not get one drop safe inside your tank.
Hey.
Haja, our life was in dangerous. Only our neighbor get water with water tank.
Water tank?
Yes, water tank. Mamma mia, that water tank get meter for checking water level. That water tank be fine past Kumasi Selendion. That water tank be tough like Ghana Army. That water tank, they carry water pepe, so say some no go left inside the supply tank. What a tank! That's my boss, Mr. Poncho go talk.
Beautiful, durable, with water level indicator and accurate volume of water. Water tank. What a tank! By Duraplast.
It's time for sports.
Yes, Emefa Apawu FC have made a U-turn on their threat to boycott the Ghana Premier League after the FA placed a temporary ban on their home ground. The Nana Ajimambedu Park was banned after fans of the club attacked players and staff of Tamale City. The decision did not sit well with the Doma-based side, as their spokesperson Evans Opon indicated they were exploring the opportunity to boycott the league, but there seems to be a change of plan.
Aduana is fully committed to playing in the ongoing Ghana Premier League, and we've come too far to say that we are going to boycott the league. We are not so happy with the developments and the fact that we've been banned, but football is played with laws, and because of the actions, the very despicable actions that happened over the weekend, it is the very reason why we are playing our games outside of our home comforts of Doma Hikro.
Collins Atapoku is a board member of the club. Now later today, Asante Kotoko could end up in the top 4 with a win as the Porcupines face King Faisal at the Baba Yara Stadium. Now quick update for Chelsea fans, because former Barcelona and Spain boss Luis Enrique is in London to hold talks with the Blues over their managerial position. Nothing advanced yet, but talks are ongoing.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. I take you back to the Ashanti region, where the Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, has expressed concerns about school feeding caterers strike over unpaid arrears. We'll listen to him.
I think this country, we must be truthful to ourselves. We must be truthful to ourselves and start pampering people. The impunity is too much. I sympathize with them. I would not be happy for the government to owe me for maybe months, when maybe I borrowed and interest is accruing, and maybe I cannot even feed my family. But we should not use illegality to solve problems.
That's the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, and the Love Primary School's quiz is on, and Divine Mission Academy has eliminated Hansi Gold Community School and the Amazing Grace School to qualify to the finals of the competition. Nana Bwachi Yadom has more.
Sacrilegious. SACRILEGIOUS, sacrilegious.
And that is correct for 3 points.
The third contest of the semi-finals of the Love FM Primary School Quiz has been fierce. Contestants of the 3 participating schools thrilled the audience with a traffic battle of wits. At the end of the contest, Divine Mission Academy came first after beating last year's finalists, Hansi Gold Community School and Amazing Grace School. The contestants of Divine Mission Academy are optimistic of victory in the grand finale.
The strategy was that we depended on God, we prayed on God, and we studied hard on all the assignments that they gave us.
So going forward, that is the final stage. You are the first school qualifying. What are we to expect from you in the final stage of the quiz?
We are going to win.
Congratulations to them. Now let's talk about Joy Prime's audition for its music talent hunt, Cues and Lyrics. And today we'll tell you about an 18-year-old budding musician who is able to perform only when her younger brother is in front of her.
Oh, what happened? Why are you tense?
Her stage name is Moon Girl, and just like the moon sources light from the sun, Moon Girl is energized by her younger brother.
I came with my brother.
You came with your brother?
Yeah.
You want him to join you on stage?
Yes, please.
What is the collaborative effort?
When I see my feel inspired.
Wow. It's good to know your sister has an inspiration. You know, a confidant.
Her audition on a thin line. She has one last chance to convince the judges.
Amen, amen.
Look out for Cues and Lyrics on the Joy Prime channel. And just before we head out, Popular Police Officer COP Nathan Kofi Boakye retires today after more than 30 years service. Listen.
All those involved in this bank bullion robbery, and especially those who committed it last week, they will be arrested very soon. They can run and run and run, but they cannot hide.
The tough-talking Commissioner of Police is a lawyer, biochemist, and a trained ballistics expert from the Metropolitan Police Support Services, United Kingdom. He has been a man of the uniform since the late 80s.
I had read a lot of books like James Hadley Chase, Agatha Christie, and especially James Hadley Chase. A book like Vulture is a Patient Bed, and all those books helped me to develop investigative acumen from the infancy. So it came naturally that after university, either I could have been a military officer or a police officer.
He was interdicted in 2006 on the recommendations of the Georgina Wood Committee, which was set up to investigate the loss of 77 parcels of cocaine on board a vessel MV Benjamin. He was reinstated in 2009 and has since been a leading voice on corruption and improving upon the police service.
But my job is to maintain law and order. My job is to curtail impunity. My job is to be the advocate of the oppressed and the vulnerable. And my job is to be fair to everyone. So if you commit offense, no matter who you are, you have to go through the process.
His years of service has seen him occupy many positions, including working in a lab to leading regional commands like Ashanti Region and Police Prosecution and Research Department.
Saying that police is corrupt is so easy, because these are the people you see outside. Who else do you see outside? One man's corruption can dupe the country for about $10 million. And police corruption, one city. So is it the quantum or the numbers?
He was on many occasions tipped to become an IGP. Kofi Boakye retires today.
Our system endorses corruption. Look at all our proverbs. On searching your da hona tafre. Emi boy kutrim. On searching your da this on sayem. Dia batabu ani twa kana. Esene katrema poko. No one says on them. Obi pradia kokotokwa enye na bro. Are these not corrupt proverbs?
And that's how we end today's edition of the Midday News. We wish you all the best. COP Nathan Kofi Boakye. There's more when you log on to myjournalline.com. We don't have to overburden private sector for IMF. Mark Bedu Abuaje. Also, Trump indictment. US going to hell, says ex-president. We have Living Word with Pastor Mensah Otabil up next. Please stay.
Where the entertainment is. Where the passion is. Where the laughter is. And sometimes, even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Do you want that special rice? Special rice. Do you want that special rice? Food Love is special rice. If what you're looking for is quality, delicious rice to satisfy the family, Food Lovers Rice can give you all you need. Food Lovers Rice can give you all you need. Oh yeah, make all your dishes special.
Food Lovers Rice is long grain, has the perfect perfume, and is great for jollof and all your favorite rice dishes. Food Lovers Special Fragrant Rice. Sisemu Nafili.